Hey everyone, my name is Callie and I'd like to welcome you back to my YouTube channel. Today is Duet Tuesday, where I play a duet excerpt for you guys, and then I illuminate each part so you guys can practice playing whichever part you choose, and that's pretty much it. It should be a lot of fun. Before we get started, I just want to check in. Those of you who are doing the August practice calendar, how are you doing? Leave a comment below, let me know. Are you practicing every day? Is the little checkbox helpful for you? Have you seen any improvement or not? Just, let me know. I want to know how you guys are doing. For those of you who are not familiar with this yet, for the month of August, I have actually made a practice calendar. And on the practice calendar, there's a little checklist for every day where you can check off your long tones or breathing exercises, scales, articulation, all the important fundamentals plus your repertoire. And so I think it's, been very helpful for me in helping me get back on track with, doing a good practice schedule and sounding good. So if you're interested, I have included a link to download the calendar below. So just click on there and you can print it out. And that's pretty much it. I would love for anybody to join me at any point in this process and let me know how you do. Now, if you like what I'm doing, please consider supporting this channel on Patreon. The $3 tier is a pretty minimum commitment. It's just like giving a little tip once a month saying, Callie, thank you so much. I love the work that you're putting in. I appreciate that you are thinking about all of these little aspects of clarinet playing, and I love the tips you're giving. That's a great way to say thank you. Now, I have had a few people actually reach out for lessons, which is really exciting. It's like kind of cool to have a global clarinet studio, and if you're considering taking lessons with me, now's the time to do it. I'm offering a special rate to anybody who joins my studio before the end of August, and you'll be locked into that rate until the end of the year. It's basically a rate that I started at the beginning of the pandemic for my current students who are currently in my studio, and it's going to continue for as long as, this year. So I can't make any guarantees after August about raising my rates with new students. So make sure that you get on board, get in touch with me now. Even just a couple of lessons, I think, would be really helpful. And plus, I love hearing my YouTube viewers play for me. Like, it's pretty cool. Now, today's duet excerpt is from one of my favorite symphonies, Dvorak's 8th Symphony. And it's from the second movement. We're going to do the duet excerpts from the second movement of that. Now, at first look, it looks pretty simple, right? Not super complex techniques, not super crazy, rhythm or anything. But the sound is the most important thing, right? The tone, having evenness of color and blending and just everything you love about the clarinet, right? Everything we all love about the clarinet right here in this excerpt. So I thought it'd be a great one to play with you guys. And so here are some of the tips that I've kind of come up with in making, good self-recordings. And these tips also translate really well to actual ensemble playing and chamber music playing. So these are tips that are just really good across the board. So the first thing you want to keep in mind, the second clarinet should be softer than the first clarinet. I know if we are used to playing in community bands or in our high school bands or whatever, a lot of times we hear the directors asking for the second and third clarinets to play out. And a lot of the times that's, just because when you have an army of first clarinets playing in the high register there, it really needs to be balanced out well by a strong middle to low range of the clarinet, right? But when it's just two clarinets together in an excerpt such as this, and you're playing in thirds like this, the first clarinet can easily be covered up by the overtones in the second clarinet. So you want to make sure that you balance the second clarinet accordingly. And so it really is a test to how well you can play, how beautifully you can play at a soft dynamic. Now, I've had some questions about how to get a better sound when playing soft, and honestly, this is so hard to answer, I think. But the thing that I can offer in trying to play with a more beautiful sound and soft dynamics is to make sure that you stay relaxed and that you keep the air moving. You don't want to change anything with your embouchure or your jaw position. Nothing should be pinched off or tightened up or clenched. It should be relaxed, and all the air should be coming out, nice and smooth and in a controlled way. So I find that it really helps to practice in front of a tuner and practice doing long tones. One of the things about the clarinet that we all know is when we play loud, we tend to sound a little flat, and when we play soft, we tend to sound a little sharp. So you can balance that out by really making sure that the embouchure is very strong and has a nice firm hold on against the bone structure of your face, so you're not puffing out your cheeks when you play loud or getting little air pockets here and there. And it'll also enable the reed to just vibrate freely, right? So in making sure that the embouchure is firm, you also want to make sure that you keep your tongue position high, and again, like I said, the air just moving forward. And the best way to practice it is to just practice long tones and practice the extreme dynamic range to really, really find out. So in addition to listening, I also go for a feeling that happens whenever you're playing the clarinet. So I would suggest find a note that you feel really comfortable playing with a really good sound and a good dynamic, and you probably, my guess is that you probably feel some sort of resonance or sensation in the front of your face or your forehead, or some people say to aim for the back of your teeth. Others say they're like a unicorn, things like that. So you keep the air moving forward, you keep the air right in the pocket, and this tone very centered and focused. Then if you're aiming to have that feeling at the loud dynamics and the soft dynamics, then you'll be able to have a really pure, beautiful sound at all dynamic levels. One of the common things that happens with clarinet players when we try to play soft is that the tone, aside from getting sharp, it gets kind of fuzzy. And so when you're aiming to stay right in the pocket with your sound and your tone color, I find that my core maintains a very engaged state whenever I'm playing soft. My core is, just gently controlling the air. And this is something that I don't really think too much about, because the more you think about it, the worse you'll get. Anyway, that's a really long explanation for simply saying long tones and listening and feeling the sound is really just going to be your best bet in trying to maintain the soft dynamics. So if I can think of any cool tricks to teach soft dynamic playing, I will definitely let you guys know. But at this time, that's all I've got. Now, in this excerpt, before we get started, I want to tell you guys I've set the metronome actually very slow. I like this. I really love this on the slow side, at around 48 to the 8th note, around 48 to the 8th note. And I'm going to add the orchestra parts in as well. I'm just going to do them on clarinet. I think it's a fun little dialogue between the clarinet and the orchestra, and it really helps me visualize the excerpt if I can kind of hear the orchestra part in my mind. So if you guys aren't already familiar with this excerpt, go listen to it and, just grab a cup of tea and just enjoy the beauty of the warm, gorgeous movement that this is. Anyway, so I'm gonna add a couple of little parts in there. Some conductors like to take the orchestra part a little bit faster and then the clarinet part a little bit slower. For our purposes, I'm gonna keep everything the same because I'm recording the parts separately and I don't have a conductor and I can't read my mind. So we're going to take everything at a very consistent tempo throughout this whole thing, but be aware that some conductors may change things up a little bit for breathability. All right, I think we're about ready to get started. I'll give you a tuning note really quick, and then we're off. Enjoy.